Alright, hey guys, I'm Perry. Currently ranked 3 player on the North America Ladder Award. Today we're going to be looking at a Diamond level game, Masters level game, Diamond 1, Ekko versus Jax. So, got some Jax jungle going on. And yeah, let's take a look. So, um, we'll go pretty fast. So, just look at the tab screen again real quick. Which side we're going to path to. Going down, this is fine. Not the end of the world. Jax ganks top lane. You're watching at bot lane here. Ooh, it's really close. She lives on 18 HP. Okay, so let's break this down. So why do you think this is good? Or why do you think this is something you want to do here?
Um, I think I can kill her. Like very sure, but I don't know why she just don't die.
Yeah, I mean she lives on 17 HP. It's really close. Um, I think one thing here is like you already got a kill and the game is already going good. Like because Caitlyn has no cleanse and well you can go to try and kill her and maybe you kill her and you just go 1 for 1, which is not the end of the world. But I think the bigger thing for me to think about here is you've already won one time bot lane. If you recall, restart, and go back to bot lane, you're going to just win harder. Dying is actually worse than it's the worst ever. Like dying early game as a jungler is like the worst thing you can do. So if you just recall and you just cut your like you're not even losing here. You're winning. If you just take your recall or go to Crab or go to Krugs and then recall after, it's actually better than trying to force out a kill here. Even though I know you think it's a kill and I know it gets super close, I think if you think about it this way, the next time your bot lane recalls and you recall and you have flash, you can kill the Caitlyn at that point. You'll have items, so it's easier. And after you kill the Caitlyn at
Yeah,
that point, you can do Dragon right after. Or you probably can get plates. Or you can, even save your flash potentially because you have items. So you've already won in the early game, the first sequence. You made a good gank. You can win harder on the next sequence if you don't kill yourself or you don't lose your conditions. Killing yourself is the worst thing you can do here.
yeah.
So
Okay.
being a little more safe about in this sequence actually is very valuable here. Otherwise, you played it well. You responded well. You didn't go to Krugs here, which is correct. You want to go here before they finish clearing the wave. And then yeah. Okay. So why did we go to Krugs here? What's the idea?
Um, I think the enemy jungler just take the top crab and I'm trying to get the camp as much as I can and also help the bot lane to retreat. That's what I'm thinking at that moment.
So you'll never make it to bot lane in time, right? Like they're going to get that wave and they're going to recall.
Yeah.
They don't need you. And
Um,
you want to be efficient with your camps, right? Or you see that the top camp is not up, but your Gromp is spawning in 20 seconds, right? So from
yeah.
base right here to Gromp, it's gonna be like 10 to 15 seconds right away, and
Yeah.
you'll wait 5 seconds on the Gromp. But the big thing is look at your sequence. You'll be able to do Gromp Wolves, Raptors, Krugs into or Gromp Wolves, Raptors bot lane gank or mid lane gank, which is a better sequence than what you're gonna see here. You do Krugs into bot crab into, or you don't even do bot crab because he does it into like mid lane into back to top lane into back to mid lane into like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So the fluidity of what you're doing of your game right here is just it's kind of all over the place. If you had just recalled like, or you died, but if you had just gone straight to Gromp here like you were planning or the side that you were going towards initially and cycled down naturally, it would have been a better game, an easier game. So for fundamentals, what I'm gonna write for you this is really, really important for you to try and do every single game, is make it to your camp respawn the moment it spawns. And you have
Okay.
timers, so it's really easy for you to get there even faster. But pretty much, generally speaking, your first camp will respawn at anywhere between 4:15 to 4:20, and then anything later is slow, anything earlier is fast, right? But that's the time frame you're going to be at your first camp. You want to be there the moment it spawns every single time, like almost no exceptions.
Okay.
So if you're there at 4:10 and it spawns at 4:15, 4:20, that's fine. You can literally wait 10 seconds and it's worth more than doing this.
Yeah, it just mess up all the stuff
Yeah,
I need to do.
that this problem, what you're gonna do here, when you do this, into like this, is going to mess you up for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It's gonna make your clear very difficult for the rest of the game. So the fundamentals I ingrain or I build for myself and what I want you to do is always be on these camps the moment it spawns. And why these two camps specifically? Well, this bot lane is your strong side. They're your strong lane.
Yeah.
You just got a bot kill. Even though you gave Caitlyn a kill, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's okay. They're still your strong side. They're still
Okay.
the lane you want to play towards. Which means that this Rumble here is your weak side. And you can still help him because your Rumble is like, I think he's doing alright. Like, he's winning. Let me check actually. He went 1 for 1, even though he got ganked. So that means that, to me, that means Rumble is like, he's good because he was able to 2v1 and get a kill. Um, but what happens is your top laner is your weak side, your bot lane is your strong side, so I'm gonna draw this out real quick. And what that means is your top camps right here are your weak side camps. And right over here is illegal territory to walk into. All of
Oh
this
yeah.
is like it's their territory.
Yeah.
Unless your top laner starts winning because he's already doing okay. Unless your top laner starts winning hard, you don't want to enter the top side. Where you do want to enter, if you possibly can, is down here. This is the territory you want to be in. Why? Because your strong side is down here, and your strong side can
Yeah.
help you. These are the lane you
Yes.
want to play with.
Yeah.
What that means for our camps is that this is our weak side camps, this is our strong side camps, this is our strong side lane, this is our weak side lane. Mid lane you can always interact with whenever. Okay, so when we're
Okay.
playing, we want to be on our weak side camps the moment it spawns.
Oh yeah, yeah. In case it gets stolen. Yeah.
Yeah, the moment it spawns. So it prevents them from taking it. Makes you faster, strong side. And the other thing is if they mess up their sequence, you get an extra quadrant. So those are the main three reasons in my head. Pretty much, like you said, if you go straight to bot lane here and you go Krugs and you go make a play bot lane and Jax does this, now you lose. Now he gets this, and he gets this, and you've only gotten this.
Yep.
So he gets three quadrants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And the other thing is, if you clear this as fast as you can, that means you're getting to ball lane even faster. Because
Yeah.
as a jungler, it is your job to farm camps, right? Just like a laner, it's their job to farm minion waves and to last hits. As a jungler, you need to farm camps. You can't just skip camps for the whole game and run around the map, like it's impossible. So at the very least, you need to clear these weak side camps. The faster you get that done, the faster you can actually help your teammates. So you get more opportunity by clearing those camps faster, so then you can play with your teammates.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the last thing is, let's say their Jax runs here and goes straight to top lane. Then the same thing happens for you. You get to clear this, invade, clear this, then fall back to your camps and then clear that. You get three
Oh.
quadrants. So now you get one, two,
Yeah.
three, and he only gets one.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. So
Oh, I should change
the
change it.
basics, and I use this principle for like my entire career. The only time where this kind of feels different is, let's say you have double range matchup bot lane. So let's say you have the most bloody bot lane, Kalista, Renata, Draven, Ashe, or something. You know, like it's gonna be war. Then in that case, going from here to here and skipping camps makes sense. Because pretty much
Yeah.
there are some matchups, there are some situations in the game where you don't want to follow this rule. That's all I'm trying to say. But 9 out of 10 games, like think about it that way, like 9 out of 10 games, I'm doing this every single time I play. And the biggest,
Okay.
most important thing is the faster you clear your weak side camps, the faster you'll be into your strong side. You're into your strong side, the faster you're gonna win the game, pretty much, because you're gonna be playing
Yeah.
with your strong teammates.
That's really important.
Yeah. So here you kind of have a decent game going for you, and you'll be fine. But because you're in the wrong side of the map entirely, like you're going to lose dragon, you're going to lose stuff on the bot side. Like your ball lane should be able to maybe push this wave and maybe help you contest the dragon, possibly. Like they should not be able to take the dragon for free. You find a good punish, but if you had cleared if you had cleared down naturally, what you could have done is your Grump, Wolves, Raptors, and then afterwards you can still go into a stop sign. And you have still cleared more camps
Yeah.
than what you have cleared right now. So it's still better no matter what. And the reason why obviously you want to go into the top side is because if you're not fighting for this, obviously you need to respond. So you do this correctly. Um, so you're not you're like I-
Yeah.
I-
I can do this better.
yeah, you can
Like
just do it. You
way
can
better.
you can make it a little bit better. Yeah, this is good. Nice W. Like your champ so well. Like I would like, bro. I play Ekko. I swear this champ is so hard sometimes. Like, okay, back to camps. We see this guy in the river. Yeah, he's getting zoned out pretty hard here. Let's see how we play this. Sure, our Q is kind of sad, but that's okay. Nice Q auto. This is good. You got to be really patient here, just in case he comes to do this. One thing I will say, one thing I can recommend is um
Mm.
right here, you don't queue this. Actually, you're kind of scared of this bush. If he jumps out of that bush, you're fucking dead. But what you can do is you can just wait for this crab to walk forward and then push the crab
Oh,
up.
and yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
actually get this crab if you do that. So that's what I would do here, because you're right to play it safe. You have no idea, because Jax just did the dragon. He can come towards top here. He can be up there. But if you push the crab towards top, you'll get this crab for yourself. But I like you being patient here. Like you need to be scared because if the Jax comes, you die. It's very very bad. Okay. At this point, Jax doesn't go top lane, and Silas went for the top ward. There's Jax showing over there. Nice ulti, but Nivea's here. Okay.
This is
Yeah. So
where the game goes
goes back.
like yeah, goes bad.
So why do you feel like Invade is good here?
I think Jax is in my uh bot jungle.
Okay. So is there something else on the map that like you could do that is worth more than just his top side?
Let me think. Maybe the Herald or
Yeah, and why is the Herald worth more than his top side? If you do the
um
math, like the Herald is worth more, but like why?
I can help the Rumble to maybe hit get the tower or help my bot lane to get the get get some extra gold.
Yeah, I mean,
It
if you do the math right away, Herald's worth 200 gold, which is already worth 2 camps of gold. It gives you about 1 camp and a half of EXP. I think two. It's possible. I'm not fully sure on the math on that. But it gives you at least 1.5. I know that for a fact. And it almost guarantees you'll get 2 plates. So
yeah
plates are 125 each, right? It's gonna be
yeah
250 plus 200 guaranteed. 450 gold plus 2 camps worth of EXP. That's actually worth more than his entire top side. But the other
yeah
thing is the river is much safer than the enemy jungle. So this objective is
yeah
much safer to take than its enemy jungle camps. Also, for you to clear the Herald, it's actually faster to do Herald than it is to do 3 of the enemy camps.
yeah
So or even 2 almost. Like
I
the Herald
I
is pretty
I,
fast
I
because of the
really
AI.
should have done the hero. Oh my. Oh,
So the way
why
I
I
want you to
done?
look at this, so you can do this every single game, is if there is an objective for you to take, and you have objective or invade, take the objective. And this is kind of stylistic. Some people really do like this invade, and I will say if people like this invade, like I will say, I think invading is very, very coin flip. I think there are so many conditions you need to think about for the invade, to where the only time I'm thinking about an invade is if I'm so like if it's as if I have like absolute vision on the map. Like I just have like so I know everything that's going on. I have like if you watch One Piece, like you have like Conqueror's hockey. Like you can see everything. Like I don't know, you can see like ahead of the time. Like if you can predict everything, you can predict the Navy is gonna come. You can predict Silence can have a war, all these things. Then I can still look for the invade. But also you're playing a champion that's not great to invade. Period. Like if you're playing Graves here, or Kindred, or I mean, those are like the
Yeah.
first two champs that pop into my head. Even Viego. Like these champs, like really, really, really want to fight, and they'll destroy. But your champion actually does the best when it has like one item, one and a half item. Like you need to be a little stronger before you want to go for these invades. And at that point, once you have your first item, once you have that strength, then you can invade all you want, and you'll win the fights because you're a good Ekko player. But right now, objectives are on the map. I want you to play for objectives. So the way I break down the game, and I'll just write this down, is the three key points are going to be waves, objectives, and tempo.
Objectives.
So objectives being one of the most important things, but you can see these are the three things I'm trying to think about always. Not kills, not invades, not like anything crazy. So I'm following fundamentals with these key points at all the time. So we've only been talking about this whether or not we invade or whether or not it's herald. How about you being on 1,700 gold? How about that? You have so much gold here. So let's say we do fight, like we did. You actually deal like zero damage because you have 1.7k gold on you.
Yeah.
If you take
Oh.
this fight and you had this gold spent, you actually have a much better chance of winning this.
Yep.
If you,
Um.
so
Yeah.
that's where it's coming to tempo that we're not playing with. And when it comes to waves, your Rumble has almost complete control over top wave. At any time, if you want to pull this Herald, Rumble can push this wave and come help you, which is like it means you can get an objective for free. But always, 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 what I'm focusing on is objectives, 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 and not kills, not invades, not like you pretty much those are the main things people focus on, like enemy camps, killing the enemy. Those are the two main things I think junglers think about too often, or even over farming your own camps. Like you wouldn't want to just farm your own camps for the whole game. You need to do objectives. Um, and one thing
Mhm.
I like adding to just think about for objectives is it actually makes your teammates mental like that much better. Um, Funnily enough, your teammates when okay, think about it this way. Let's say you get his whole top side. You'll be level 7 and he'll be level 6. Right? This is you. This is Jax, right? But if Jax takes this Herald, what can happen is he'll be level 7, you'll be level 8, but he's gotten Dragon and Herald, and you've gotten what? So
Yeah.
someone's gonna hold
Nothing.
tab on your team and be like, man, my jungler's getting gapped. They got Dragon
Oh.
and Herald, and it's kind of tilting. But the fun part is two things. One, you actually make your teammates like you more by doing objectives. I swear it's
Yep.
actually OP in solo queue. They just like you more. Okay? And
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
two, objectives actually give you a lot of EXP. It's very undervalued. Like people think, oh, because I'm doing Herald or because I'm doing Dragon, I'm not gonna get that much EXP. That's actually wrong. These objectives actually give you a good amount of EXP. Okay, and then the
Yep.
last thing is, okay, actually no, those are the two main things. This is a separate thing. Do you think? I'm actually curious. Do you think that leveling up your camps gives you a lot of EXP?
Um. Um.
You probably
Sure.
heard it, right? Like oh, you want to make sure you clear your camps so they level up. You've probably heard that before, right?
Yeah. I kind of have that. Yeah.
You have that mindset?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me show you real quick. Gromp level wiki. I will show you
It's
level 1 Gromp to level 4 Gromp to level 8 Gromp. Look, this is the graph. Level 1 to level 4 Gromp, you get 9 more
oh
EXP. Do you know how much EXP a melee minion or a caster minion is? It's okay
not
if you don't.
really.
Yeah, let's take
Not
a look.
really.
A caster minion is worth 30 EXP solo by itself.
Holy.
Every single caster minion. And then obviously
Uh,
you have to split it, and then obviously you have to split it because you're sharing it. And you're also gonna get less EXP because the jungle item. But like leveling up your camps, it's not actually um it's not actually like super duper valued. Like it helps, but it's not actually that insane. Like if you look at a melee minion, it's also worth this much, you
oh,
know?
that works a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So minions are worth a lot, and camps are definitely worth something. Like killing the camp definitely gives you a good amount of EXP. Like you need to clear your camps, but you should not stress getting your leveled up camp or getting the enemies leveled up camp. Like it's not that big of a deal. These objectives are actually worth so much.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so the biggest thing here is that if we go with pull the objective here, we'll be completely fine in this game. We wouldn't die, and then I mean your mid laner also got killed. I don't know that this is like crazy shenanigans happening, but the game is still winnable. Even though
Yep.
things kind of went shit, the game is still for sure winnable. You get this guy's egg. Jax shows up. It's just actually really sad timing. And then oh, Kalen's just in that bush. That's so sad. Yeah. So at this point, what I would say is this is kind of like an end of. Okay, if you were to review this game by yourself, which I recommend you do, at least generally speaking, after you do that Herald top play where you or you the not the Herald play, the invade and you fight, I would say that like that's like the end of game where like you that's like the biggest fuck up. You even said it like that's where the game went bad. But what the way you look at the games when you have really bad situations like that, like you die top lane and everyone dies, is the more you force, the worse the game actually gets. I
Yep.
know some people say like you need to start fights right away and you need to do things right away. And you need like in order to come back, you need to, you know, have a get a miracle play. What you actually doing to get the miracle play is if you actually relax and you let the enemy team make mistakes and you kind of just like play a chill game. What can happen actually is you'll farm so you'll be decently in the game. You'll get your first item, and the enemy Anivia, who's pretty cocky, I would say, how she's playing Anivia support even. She can be playing too aggressively to where she makes a mistake in the mid game. You get that 1k shutdown, and then you can carry the game from there. Like I'm sure you've had games where you're up 10,000 gold or you're down 10,000 gold, you're down Dragon, Soul, whatever it is, Baron, and you still win. League of Legends is a game of like, there's a lot
Mm.
of mistakes to be made, and the less amounts of mistakes you make, the easier the game is. So you've made a lot of plays on the map right now. You've invaded, you've ganked top, you've ganked bot, you're ganking bot again. You tried to ganking mid earlier. I think the less you do, actually, as jungling, the better or the easier the game is to win. You need to
Okay.
you need to look for opportunity after you're done with your clear, but you definitely cannot gank. It makes the game harder for you and makes the game harder to learn. So what I recommend here in this game state where it's 5 to 8, your bot just got double killed, it's a rough game, is you actually just stick to your full clear, you keep farming, you try to get your first item, and after you get your first item, maybe then you can start fighting. Pretty much you want to fight when the conditions are better for you, and right now they aren't great, and I think if you let this game play out towards later on in the game, you can actually still win this game, and I think the enemy team will make mistakes. It's better to not force ever if you can
Okay.
prevent it. If you can
Uh,
stop yourself, do not force plays.
yeah. I should chill now. Like, not do the forcing gang. Oh.
Forcing gangs slash plays makes things harder. Capitalizing and looking for opportunity later. So what I mean is like you still want to look for a play later on in the game, but when you have conditions, when you have your first item, when maybe you're level 8, maybe you
Yeah.
like you're just a little bit stronger. Right now is just a hard time to force a play.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there we go. See, Anivia's playing way too cocky here, and you get that shutdown. So it's like these are the things that can happen like in every single game, no matter what. Like I kind of just get the feeling, I have intuition that like hey, like the enemy team is going to play like psycho patients, like mental patients, because they're so far ahead in the game. They feel super cocky, they feel super confident that they can just do whatever they want, but they actually can't because you can still win, you can still lose games, like no matter how strong you are. So um, make sure you keep your conditions good before you try and force ganks.
Yeah. Uh, wow. That really is the main reason I lost this game. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
it's the
trying so
forcing
much, you're trying
stuff.
so hard. Where you just got a huge
Oh,
shutdown. You can actually just recall here and get your item and be strong. You can possibly kill Caitlyn, give them dragon. You can possibly kill Silas once you come back with items. There's so many different things you
yeah,
could do. There's so many different opportunities you can get by not forcing things and just farming and just keeping your tempo high and making your game decent. Like you actually get more opportunity in the game versus hard forcing things like this.
yeah.
This one is kind of rough, I would say, but the idea is still the same. Like you can clear your Raptors, Wolves, Gromp, and then wait a little bit, then look top lane. You can even just do your Gromp here and then wait for the next top wave. Like you don't have to go too hard. Also, your Rumble is, I mean, Caitlyn's pretty low too, but Rumble's pretty low. Like if you waited a little bit longer, what's gonna happen is you're going to see that no one's mid lane for them, which means
Yeah,
Silas could be top lane here, right? You see how MF is waiting under turret to see if anyone shows. Now that MF doesn't see anyone show, she's gonna walk up. At that point, if their enemy mid laner doesn't come, then that means he's either bot lane, top lane, in the jungle somewhere. Um, so even just waiting here in this bush or all the way back here in this bush is like better than going right now.
yeah.
And another
I'm
reason why it's better
I'm
is
a little
because
bit um r- in a rush, I think, because I'm afraid that Caitlyn would just recall, but
oh,
I think it's okay now. Like,
yeah, let's say she recalls. Maybe Rumble can recall as well. She's pretty low. Maybe maybe
yeah,
maybe Silas
it's
goes mid
fine.
and Rumble can hit plates. Like you can hit plates too. It's fine. She'll lose a wave. And then let's say Silas covers top lane. That means you defend Rumble as well. But also that means your mid laner is pushing a wave in for free. So they're going to lose a mid wave because Caitlyn and Silas were top lane. So no matter what, like you're fine. It's better to not feel forced, not feel not feel pressured to go fast. Instead of feeling pressured to go fast, you should feel aware that hey, I need to do this fast. The reason why is because like I want to get this kill before the enemy balling comes. But when you just feel pressured to feel pressured, it makes things harder.
Yeah, I just think I'm not doing good as a jungler because I'm like not doing things, but actually it's not like that. I
Yeah, it's
should
not like
have
that at
just
all. Not like that at all.
sit back and farm something, actually.
Well, think about it this way: like when your laners are losing, well, not everyone's losing, but when your bot laner was losing and your mid laner is like not doing the best, when the game is rough, how do you how are you supposed to make plays when the game is rough?
Um,
Like it's very difficult to make things happen when your laners are not doing great and like when things are hard in the game, it's actually very difficult to make things happen. So I wouldn't feel forced to make things happen because they're already difficult. So when you're behind and when you're not ahead, it's actually better for you to just keep your conditions high, farm, and get items, then fight versus just fighting all the time.
yep, yep.
So yeah, and you'll see. Well, this game probably goes on for a while. Actually, never mind. It's a 20 minute 20-minute game, but if I let me load up the client real quick, and I want to show you the gold graph here, and I kind of want to show you how like this game, you don't FF, which is good, but this entire game was 100% winnable throughout the entire stage. And in the early game, if you had just chilled out, farmed, like kept conditions good for yourself, you would actually see that in any of these gold swings, you'd be able to capitalize even more and win even harder if you had forced less.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to take a look real quick. Pretty much what I want you to focus on, since we have some time to just chat. I'm gonna give you some notes, obviously, to what to improve on. What I want you to focus on is I want you to focus on, being consistent and not feeling forced to do things. And what I mean by consistent is consistently play for objectives, waves, and tempo. Those are the three main things I want you to like focus on. Waves, tempo, and all that, like versus trying to play for anything else. I want you to be playing for these fundamentals. I think it'll make your gameplay look a lot better. Oh, we have a lot of
It's
games. Shit. All right, let's just take a look at this game. Okay, and I just want you to just kind of see how your red side looks like, or no, team one, team two. You lose this game,
um
right? Yeah, your red side right
yeah.
here. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, they have a decent early game, and like towards later on parts of the game, like even though they get ahead up here, you guys can bring the gold back down. I mean, the idea is pretty much what I'm trying to say is just like you've won games where you're down a lot of gold, you've lost games where you're up a lot of gold. Like the more you force in the early game, the harder the game actually is. So trying
Yeah.
to not
Uh,
force as hard is actually better.
uh yeah. I literally forced something in that Velvet game.
Yeah,
I can recall.
yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. Like it's a normal thing to do. Like when you feel pressured, when you feel like the game is going rough, it's normal to try and make things happen. But it's actually better in a game of League to not make things happen. Like the enemy team will make mistakes. You want to be as strong as you possibly can when you're capitalizing on those mistakes. It's actually better than
Yeah.
forcing things. Follow fundamental rules. You're also on my Patreon, so I have some like I have a recent one I posted um about kind of more fundamentals. So you can, if you have time, you can watch that. I know you have finals and
Yeah.
stuff, but if you have time, you can watch that. My most recent videos are pretty helpful as well for fundamentals. Follow fundamental rules and try to be consistent with how you're playing. Number two, play for objectives over invades. It's okay to do your job and not 1v9. Winning winning the game doesn't mean being up. You can win the game being down levels. You can win the game like being up one level, being even same level. Like you don't need to hard stomp the enemy for you to make it like a good game. You don't need to like
Okay. Yeah.
you're kind of putting all this pressure on yourself to like, yeah, man. Like a good jungler means I'm up 3 levels. I'm perma invading. I'm like not giving them any space to breathe. But like that's just not possible. Like at all times, that's not possible to replicate.
Um I had these ideas because I was coached by like um the top player of NA, like his name is MJM. I'm sure
Oh,
you
you
have
know him. Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, I was coached by him, and his echo is really insane in game. I saw him like place play stuff like I never would have done. Yeah, that's where I got these ideas that like I should do things like him, you know.
And
But
I mean
actually,
like
it's kind of weird. If yeah,
I think that's not a bad thing to try and replicate what someone's doing, especially a good, like he's a good player. He's always a high level player. But I think it's kind of hard to look at his good games and not look. You have to remember, like, he has bad games too. Like, there are going to be games where he's down levels, where he's not so far ahead,
Yeah.
where he's even level and he's winning. Like, you kind of have to remember, like, also, like, what's for yourself, like, is that kind of how you've been playing the whole time, where you go try to play, like, up a million levels? Because if you play the game for a decent amount of time, you kind of already have these ideas on how the game works, and how you kind of see the game. I think the point
Mm.
is, like, all the things that advice I'm giving you, he's giving you, whoever else, like all the points, is for you to follow what you think will be good for yourself. And I think the best way for you to improve is by um
Um.
choosing one style and like playing to it, because I feel like MJM does value the invade more and the playing aggressive more. And I think if you enjoy that play style more, and you find
Yeah.
you like it, then you can obviously do that. For me, I like following simple rules to keep the game like structured, to keep the game nice and basic, so I can not feel stressed all the time. Really,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
shouldn't be stressful, I'd say. But I think regardless, you can use these points to help you. But it's really important for you to understand that, like, just because he has good games doesn't mean he has like bad games. Like, like Faker has bad games. Um,
Yeah.
So you want to try and replicate that, but you cannot do it every single game. You're putting unrealistic standards on yourself, and I think it's making you feel really bad when you have quote unquote bad games. Um, I think it's actually worse that you're viewing the game like that. So,
Yeah.
all right, last thing I want you to start thinking about is trying to not force plays. It's better to make things calculated. Enemy team. We can't even get into the details of how you can play some of these sequences better, because you force something and, like, it's just kind of random, and then after you force the thing, like, it makes your game so bad that we can't really talk about much. Um,
Oh, okay.
the other thing would
Um.
be, making sure you clear your weak side camps. Like, this is like you lose the game almost on the spot when you do this. Jungle is just really
Um.
really hard to play when you
Uh-huh.
do this right here.
Yeah.
So this is what made your early game really hard, and then obviously in the mid, like towards the mid game, after the parts of the early game, like you were just forcing so many ganks, where you either were really close to item, you had item, or you were 1v2ing, 1v3ing, and you go in anywhere, anyway. But trying to not fuck your sequence up and not forcing plays is gonna be really, really, really important for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any other questions about maybe some mid game fighting or some other early game points?
Um. Uh. Do I always have to pathing to the lane that have fire, or I can, in some situations I can do yeah, like
Yeah.
that.
So let's think about it
It's
this way.
not
Okay.
really about this game, but yeah, it's just the idea of that.
Yeah, here, I'll use this for you. Let's think about it this way. So let's say you're a blue side. Your top lane has no prio. Your bot lane has prio. Mid lane, we'll just say is like even. And you want to path to the lane with no prio. This is where you want to path. You do red buff, Krugs, Raptors. You go top lane. The enemy jungler does blue Grump Wolves and goes top lane as well. Do you win this 2v2 top lane? Most of the time, the
Oh,
answer is
no.
no, because they have the whole
Yeah,
wave.
no. Yes. And
So
I
that's
got
why I don't
invade.
like the idea of playing like this, because why would I do that? When I can just go bot lane, and the same thing applies. If their jungler comes bot lane, well, guess what? I will fight 3v3. I can invade myself. I can,
Yeah.
like, do anything in the bot side, and it pretty much just makes it so you're playing with a lane that's winning. If someone has prio, that actually means the laner is winning.
Okay.
So if they maintain
Yeah.
prio, they're winning. So the only time I'd ever path to here is if I know for a fact the enemy jungler is pathing down, or I know for a fact that the enemy jungler is like going to full clear or something. But even then, if the enemy jungler paths down and you path up and you gank the lane with no prio and it works, let's say you get that kill, what's gonna happen is your lane with prio will also probably die.
Yeah, because they push
Yeah,
so
they're
much.
pushing. But that's the thing. Like if you fought here 3v3, you just win.
Uh, yeah, yeah. This is the guaranteed play. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in my
Okay.
head what's guaranteed because like at least let's say you don't get a kill, let's say you don't get anything, like at the very least they're gonna keep crashing waves and you have a lane to play through every single time you can recon and come down through Y. Obviously there's times where you can break this rule, but that's how I view it when it comes to playing with Prio and whatnot. That's how I think about it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, this makes so much sense.
Cool. And then I think the one thing
Um.
that also remember is like if your bot has Prio and it's like your support that can come, you can do these camps and then invade the enemy jungler.
Yep.
And then on the flip side, if you do like if you path like this and the enemy jungle paths like this, and the top laner has prio, you will get invaded as well.
Yeah.
So that's why pathing to no prio is actually really scary because if the enemy jungler sees that and you're weaker level 3, you're just gonna get invaded.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Uh.
Yeah. If there's anything else,
Yeah.
you let me know. Otherwise,
Yeah.
'cause we
I
have a bit more
think.
time, but I I kind of need to see the next time you play. I feel like a lot everything you can work on right now is just can be shifted with the way you think about the game and their attitude towards the game. I think you can easily climb right away. So I think it's less about your gameplay right now and more about how you're kind of thinking about the game. Um, so
Mhm.
I kind of don't have much more to say about the game. Um,
Yeah.
but if you have any questions, I'm here. We still have some more time. So.
Um. I think I don't have more questions right now. Yeah.
All right, well, I mean that's pretty much it for me. If you have any other questions, you feel free to send me a DM and everything, if anything else
Okay.
comes up.
I think this is it.
All
Okay.
right, I'm gonna send you these notes.
Oh,
And
thank you.
really, I want you to just try to think about your attitude, your view on the game, and remember why you're trying to hit Grandmaster at the end of the day. Like you want to be a better player. You wanna get that rank. So remember when you're like I don't want to I'm not trying to say like feel guilty when you're playing on your Smurf playing top lane, but like you can min max your time when you're playing on that Smurf. You can play other champions and it's not just Ekko and whatnot, but like every single game you play can like you unless you like maybe you're learning top lane stuff as well, like you can learn top lane stuff as well, but every single game you play can you can gain a lot of value from it. So just don't
Yeah.
forget why you're trying to climb.
Okay.
Yeah, did you have something else that you wanted to say or?
No.
All right.
Okay. Have a nice day.